Thanks for listening to the AZ Wildcats podcast. I am your host, Mike Luke, joined by Saul Bookman with a Toronto Raptors hat. I have a Toronto Raptors jersey. Damon Stoudemire, my friends. That is a very cool. Where did you get that hat, Saul Bookman?
I don't know, Mitchell and Ness.
All right,
throwback. But you know, I was in my garage yesterday, and I think I shared one of the things that I found in my garage yesterday on our Discord. I had it was the notes from Louisville versus Oklahoma back in 1988, prior to Oklahoma playing U of A in the '88 Final Four, by Lute. And the great Todd Walsh gave me those because he was around that program at that time, and I just thought that was the coolest thing. But amongst my discoveries, I found a big, huge Slam magazine fold out of Damon Stoudemire in his rookie campaign. And I was like, oh man, and he was in this uniform. So I figured I'd wear that today.
Very, very cool. I still have my Parade magazine with Mike Bibby and Kobe Bryant as the two on the cover as well. Many people. So again, we have got all kinds of fun stuff to get to. Let's see. Call your shot, Mike. Do the Cats win the league tonight? First of all, though, Saul, we got to talk a little bit Arizona baseball. I will be at the game Friday. I will be there signing autographs, giving knuckles to the babies, all of that stuff. So, Saul, Chip Hale, a lot of people beat up Chip Hale. He has done a good job. I do not understand why people have such a problem with Chip Hale. They act like he's been like 3-25 in his first 2 years. He made the postseason each year. Arizona can close out the conference tonight, and Chip Hale is already the conference coach of the year. I like Chip Hale.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I think he's done a fantastic job. Hey, listen, man, I think anytime you get change and it doesn't go exactly as smooth as you'd like, people start to panic. You see what Jay Johnson's doing out of LSU, then you're like, oh my gosh, I can't believe, hey, it's a different program. And Chip Hale, it takes some time to kind of get your bearings about you, especially at the collegiate level with young kids, trying to make sure that you got a program running in the right direction. I think you're starting to see the fruits of that labor now with Chip Hale. And I expect him to win the conference outright tonight or this weekend at least.
All right, Kobe Thiel, who's a big Arizona baseball fan and will be coming on. He has been part of this Chip Hale slander movement, and we will not forget this, Kobe Thiel. We will not forget this. All right, but no good. All right, now.
Nobody takes an L like Kobe Thiel.
Thiel, L, my friend. Yes, triple L. All right.
Sorry, that was a bad joke, Toby.
But yes, tomorrow we will be breaking that all down and everything. Hopefully we're talking about that. And like I said, I will be at the game. All right. We got a lot of Arizona basketball to get to. We got some football news. We got our NBA lists of the top U of A players. We've also got some Bronny. I want to talk about Bronny for a few minutes. And let's talk, but I want to start the elephant in the room. He is announcing tomorrow. Elijhah Badger, my friend. Now, here's where it's very, very interesting with Elijhah Badger. Arizona actually has more money than many people think for Elijhah Badger. Maybe somebody came in and said, you know what? I don't want him going to Washington, or I don't want him going to Florida. I don't know. It's going to be fascinating to see what happens with this. No predictions, but Arizona feels very good with the spot they are in right now. I will just leave it at that. No predictions, though.
Yeah, I feel like this is Christmas. I feel like this is the ghost of Fish, past, present, and future, because of the schools that he's chosen to narrow it down to. U of A, Washington, and probably Florida sometime down the road. So, I've spoken to many of our ASU brethren here in the studio, and to their credit, they're trying to downplay it as much as possible. But I finally did get somebody on that ASU show to finally say, not going to lie, it would hurt if Elijhah Badger went to the U of A. And it should, because I don't really remember a time where a premier athlete at the top of their game in either sport, basketball or football, transferred to the rival school. Not here, at least.
Right,
and
exactly.
So that'd be pretty remarkable. And so we all know what Elijhah Badger brings to the table. We've seen him from afar. We've seen him in person. He's an elite receiver. To combine him with T-Mac, with a great quarterback in Noah Fafita, it all kind of speaks for itself. You go to Washington, who are you playing with? You only got you don't have much time to really accentuate your college career. So don't dick around and go to Washington. That's useless. You're not going to do anything in Florida. Come on, Florida. Come on, man. That's a dumpster fire waiting to happen in the offseason. So this is clearly the best option for Elijhah Badger.
And sometimes you got to take, first of all, it's nice if you can get paid a little, paid a little bit extra. But at the same time, though, sometimes you got to make sense to make dollars. And that's what he would be doing if he came here, because let's be honest, Saul, you make a very good point. You make the point that a GM should make, where you're saying that, listen, look at Florida. You could either be starting a true freshman quarterback or some guy from Wisconsin. You could be playing for Will Rogers at Washington. Or you could be playing with Noah Fafita. Let me think for a second here who I would rather have, and you would never have to worry about double teams. You go to Florida, you have to deal with, first of all, have you seen Florida's schedule in their first 5 games? It's like Georgia, Alabama, Ole Miss. It's a gauntlet. There's no way Billy Napier is going to make it out of that thing alive. And you're also going to have to worry about possibly getting double teamed. Guess what? We have a wide receiver here that will take on double teams so that you can run freely, Elijhah Badger. I am saying that this would be a great fit, and it would be hands down the best wide receiver duo in the country. And honestly, you could have, I mean, T-Mac, no matter what Shane Diefenbach or Johnny Venerable say, T-Mac is a first-round pick next year. And Elijhah Badger, I think, could squarely put himself into that, probably second-day discussion there as well. He should come to Arizona. He should back the A.
Well, I mean, yeah, second day discussion. I mean, listen, if things go right in the Big 12, and maybe you get to a point in the CFP where you guys perform, we perform at that level, then maybe you're looking at a first round talent because of the growth with having a legitimately consistent quarterback finally for the first time in your career, because he hasn't had that. He hasn't had that, not at any stop. So coming to Arizona just makes too much sense. And listen, man, the shirts print themselves. Let's go. I need this to happen. I need this to happen.
The Badger joins the Island Boys. How about that? I like that.
Ooh, I like that.
Off the top of my head, I do not have to worry about that being copyrighted because nobody will use that.
Yeah,
but
the Island Badger.
Yes, the Island Badger. Do you think there is a badger on an island anywhere? Can they be?
Anywhere? Yes.
You think there's a badger on an island? People out there, you're much smarter than me, but you're not smarter than Saul. If you can find out where a badger is indigenous to an island, I would love to see that. But that would write itself. We will find out. But again, he's going to be announcing tomorrow. And all I got to say is that sometimes some donors come through and they make really, really good moves. We'll see if it works.
Do we know what time and all that stuff?
We do not know. We do not know a time yet. Now he is just going to be releasing it to On 3. So we will certainly be keeping you up to date on that one. There will be a badger in the inner circle. I love the advertising.
I will say this too, folks, and I try not to send out cryptic company messages or anything like that, but Elijhah Badger going to Arizona would be very, very, very good for this program. Just so you know.
We very much would like to see that, Elijhah Badger. Help us help you. That is what we want to do all the way around. All right, now, Tommy Lloyd. Generally, when you're a good coach, you get other opportunities. That's generally the way it is in life. If you're good at your job, you get other opportunities as well. Tommy Lloyd is the head coach of the U-18 team. This is a very, very good thing, especially, too, because he is going to be coaching some players that Arizona is recruiting. Hudson Greer, Xavier Stanton, amongst others. And no, I do not know anything about Koa Pete. I wish I did know about Koa Pete. I have no information on Koa Pete. This is very, very good, though, Saul. I love when coaches get these opportunities because it shows that they're good and it shows that they're entrusted with good stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. And it shows that they're respected at a high level. You know, like Tommy Lloyd, you know, until the last 3 years, you didn't really know who he was outside of being an assistant at Gonzaga. So I think this is tremendous. He's done such a great job here at the U of A. I understand, like, we haven't gotten to a Final Four national championship. I get it, but he produces great results in the regular season. He's won some conference championships and tournaments. So, like, I get it. I think coaches around the country look at what Tommy Lloyd's doing, respect what he's doing. They like the system that he runs. And because of that, this is the reason why he gets this kind of opportunity, is because he's an elite basketball coach. Point blank.
Exactly. And on top of that, too, this is something, if you've got a bunch of different players that you're coaching, it's free advertising. And why wouldn't you take the free advertising? Hey, man, this is how I coach. This is how you can expect me to play. This is how we're going to play. Because I think a lot of times, and I always tell this story, Sean Miller was one of the best recruiters I've ever seen for one reason, is that he was able to sell people on stuff that wasn't necessarily true on the court. I will never forget this. I called Josh Green one time, and this is Josh Green's a junior in high school. Look at me calling Josh Green. And I asked Josh Green, and I was thrown off because he has an Australian accent. I had no clue that he was Australian at the time. And I was like, is Josh there? And he's like, yeah, this is him. And I was like, all right.
Like, oh, this name?
Yeah, it was essentially like that. I almost said good day, mate, but that's not it. But so Green, though, then asks me, or I ask Green, I say, so what about Sean Miller really, makes you want to be a Wildcat? And keep in mind, he's looking at North Carolina, Roy Williams, go anywhere he wants. And he says, I just love the way that they get up and down the court and that every single play is a fast break dunk and alley-oop. He says, I think that fits really well into my game. So there's this long pause, and I wanted to say, and you believe this?
What?
Yes.
What?
I was blown away by it. And so I'm thinking to myself, I watch every single game. I can probably count on one hand the amount of fast break dunks that I've seen in the last year. And he was going on and on about it. He was making it out like this was, like this was the Showtime Lakers or something. Get up and down.
Wait. His junior year would have been DA's senior year, right? Or only year, right?
Let's see.
So maybe he just saw a bunch of alley-oops to DA, and that's just he just thought that was the way it goes.
Either way, Saul, it was remarkable.
Never would you ever in a million years say that Arizona under Sean Miller was run and gun.
No. You know what it's like? It's like saying, man, I was standing next to Mike Luke, and man, that dude's tall. Like you don't come away from. I was just. But I tell you that to tell you this. Some coaches are really good salesmen. They say, don't look at the tape. Look at what I tell you. Tommy Lloyd can say two things, Saul Bookman. He can say, look at the tape, or you can see how I coach. And I think that's an awesome thing.
Mike, do you remember my recruiting pitch to you to come here?
No, I just knew that I was impressed by you.
Oh.
About that for a flattery.
There you go. Appreciate that.
Right.
I'll just let that one go. I'm just let that one ride out now.
No, seriously. I wasn't super happy where I was. Saul came in with the golden parachute, sold me. Deal was done very, very quickly. I appreciate Saul Bookman. Salute emoji to the great Saul Bookman. And I also would not have found out about the free throw story. And think about it this way. If I did not know about you and the free throws, by the way, you want to know something really cool? So there is at my high school, there's a state championship banner with their 3-pointers made in a row. They have free throws, but they did not have the all-time free throw leader. It just said free throws, and then it was a bunch of stuff that I didn't see. I almost lost it if Saul Bookman's name was transcribed in the Saguaro High School gym.
You know what? Maybe I need to talk to Lenica Ruiz over here at Marcos Deniza, because the guy who actually, so I own the 5A record. Okay.
Yes.
A kid by the name of Mason Stark, who ended up playing at NAU, has the 4A record, which is higher than I. So I don't have the all-time record. I held the all-time record for like 20 years, and then he broke it. And I was in person to see him break it when they went down to South Point, and I was down at school at the U of A, and he broke it right in front of me. I thought it was pretty cool that he broke my record. But both of our names should be in the rafters. I mean, come on. What are we doing here, Lenica? Get with the program.
Joking aside, and allow me to brag for you, Saul. If I had that record, I would have a t-shirt made of that. I would walk into that gym. I would look up into the rafters. No, seriously, that is an awesome record. That is an awesome record. And 5A, better than 4A. Saul, we need to get this done. Oh, and know how cool, how sexy a Bookman jersey hanging over the court would be?
Back in my day, there was no 6A. So
right.
5A was
you were the big school. You were the big dog.
Was the top, yeah. So,
yeah, anyway. All right. We should start working on this, though. Maybe an off-season project. Hey, would you show – can you imagine if you had a retirement ceremony?
Oh, my God.
You bring like the entire family, like the entire everybody that works that works under you. That would be amazing. Oh, Saul, I'm sure Saul could dunk. Saul's a big dude. Saul's a tall guy. Saul, you could dunk.
Nope.
You couldn't dunk?
Never tried.
All right. Well, there you go. You made your damage at the free throw line. That's what we like. That means that you were driving to the hoop, though.
Yeah. You can also drive to the inner circle.
Yes, exactly. Speaking of which, do we even have an inner circle read? Oh, by the way, I found a new Circle K the other day that I'm very excited about, that I've been telling people about. 29th and Craycroft has a very underrated Circle K. It's got 8 fuel pumps. You go in there. What did I get? Kyle Dodd has got me onto these little omelet sandwiches. They're very good. Kyle Dodd now backs the K, not only backing Kyle Dodd, but he also backs the inner circle. Here's the deal. You can be like Saul Bookman and join the Inner Circle for free by downloading the Circle K app. Terms and conditions apply at participating locations. Visit CircleK.com for details. You might see me at the one on 29th and Craycroft now. I feel very, very comfortable with this one. I like it a lot. I might go there on my way to the Arizona baseball game. By the way, Kobe Field, the Western omelets are very good. Let's see here. Kyle Dodd got me onto those. He is very, very excited about that. All right, now. So we are tomorrow, obviously, going to be a massive day. We will keep you abreast on that. Tommy Lloyd in the U-18. All right, Saul, I want to ask you a question here, a little bit off topic that I was looking at. I am generally a LeBron James guy. I think that what he's been able to do going into the league, and I think some of his stuff is certainly contrived. I get all that, but staying out of trouble, being able to do not really getting into any real trouble. And no, the decision was stupid. That's not getting into trouble. So miss me with all that. But I do think he's setting his kid up to be a target here. I believe Bronny can play, but this is also nepotism of the highest order. Not that there's anything wrong necessarily with nepotism. No team would be drafting Bronny if it wasn't for LeBron. I think he's making a big mistake by not having his kid go back somewhere for a year, average 15 points, 4 rebounds, where you could at least be feasible. He averaged 4 points a game, obviously measured in at 6'1". I think that he's doing his kid a disservice here, Saul. I really do. What say you?
I mean, it's hard. It's hard to judge because the NBA game is vastly different than the college game. So I don't necessarily agree that going back to college means that he would necessarily prove that he could play in the NBA per se, because there's been tons of players that played at a high level in college and couldn't do shit in the NBA.
It's very true.
Some of them got drafted, number 2 overall and didn't amount to a bucket of hamster vomit. So you got to make sure that what your intentions are lining up with what you feel like is the best move for you. And if that's what they feel, then that's what they feel. I would agree with you about the LeBron hype and the DNA and the legend that is LeBron. I get that. But I also think Bronny's a pretty good player. I think he can be a good NBA player at some point. I don't think he's there right now. He's a project. He should get drafted in the second round. I don't think he's a first round talent. If he's going to get drafted at all, it should be in the second round. Listen, they do evaluations. I think LeBron has seen enough NBA players to understand whether or not he feels like his son has the goods or not. I don't think LeBron is the type of person that's just like, I don't give a shit. He's got to play in the NBA. He's going to force that to happen just because of his name. I don't know because I feel like he still has a couple years left. So why rush it this year?
That's kind of where I'm at as well. When you watch LeBron up close, it really is remarkable. The dude's almost 40, literally going to turn 40 this year. And he's still one of the top 10, 11 players in the league. It's remarkable what he is able to do. I just don't know, because I think there's a lot of people, and I'm not, you could be right. I think that when a kid comes into the league and takes up a roster spot where he's probably, he averaged 3 points a game at SC this past year. I get that he had some stuff. I think he kind of makes himself a little bit of a target there. I don't feel comfortable with it, but it's not up for me to feel comfortable with. It's up for LeBron James to feel comfortable with, Saul. He does not care about what Mike Luke on the AZ Wildcats podcast says.
No, nor should he. I actually do think that Bronny's making the right move. I didn't at first. I thought he should go back to school because I didn't think that there was any reason why he should go to the NBA, because he didn't really prove much in college. But after kind of watching some of his workouts, seeing the things that he's worked on, I tend to go the other way now, and I can see how he could be on a roster. Listen, I've seen plenty of guys in the league right now that I feel like he could compete with to be on a roster. Some of them are here in Phoenix. So, I believe that Bronny could play to some degree in the NBA.
You had one of the funniest lines I've ever heard. I was watching the Suns, or your guys' post game with the Suns, and I think it was the Suns and the Sixers. And this is when the Sixers was missing everybody. And you're like, man, Devin Booker was looking around, and I think he had like 3 or 4 times where he's like, who the hell is this dude guarding me? And you're like, I was the same way. I had no clue who half the people on the team were. So yes, that point is taken. Now let me ask you this: if you're a team, why in the world? Let's say you're the Phoenix Suns. And why wouldn't you take Bronny and LeBron? Again, I know that you don't have any salary cap, obviously, to be able to bring him. But, if LeBron really wants to play with Bronny, then, well, you're going to have to come over here. Why not?
Why not? Why not?
Yeah.
That's a very real situation. Yeah, I could see Bron doing that just because he wants to play with Bronny. I could easily see that. So.
All right, here's my hot take, Saul. I believe LeBron James is going to be back in Cleveland next year. That's my call. I am taking it. I think that they are going to draft Bronny, and I think he's going to use that as an excuse to get out of LA. And when he gets to Cleveland, they'll be able to compete in the East immediately. That's what I'm saying right here. I'm throwing it down with no inside information.
I don't think that's going to happen because I think the team who drafts Bronny will be in a position to take LeBron, because I do think LeBron's going to opt out.
You know what would be great? What if the Jazz drafted Bronny? That would be absolutely amazing.
That would be terrible.
That would be absolutely amazing if they drafted Bronny. I would love to see that. Okay, now Keyshawn Johnson again. Keyshawn Johnson absolutely annihilating it at the combine. Did you see his vertical, by the way?
Yeah, like the third highest vertical in the combine.
The highest. It was tied with a couple other people. 42 inches. Very impressive. Very impressive. Okay. Now, we got the great Erica Day coming in here soon. But Saul, we have something to talk about. Our top 5. This is a fun list. Our top 5 Arizona Wildcats NBA all time. Now, DeAndre Ayton is not on my list.
Do we have criteria for this?
Nope. It's whoever Saul Bookman wants. I'll explain mine. You explain yours. That is, it's your list, not mine, and my list, not yours.
Okay.
All right. Who you got at 5?
At 5, I got Steve Kerr.
Really? Okay.
At 5, I got Steve Kerr because of all the championships he won. Obviously, the most iconic being the one in Chicago where he got the ball passed to him in the free throw jump shot. I just think, and then what he's done when he's done as a coach too. Like, I don't think you can miss the longevity of Steve Kerr in the NBA. He's going to be in the Hall of Fame.
Mm-hmm.
So
yep,
he's number 5 for me.
I have Mike Bibby at number 5. Mike Bibby to me is, like I said, I always say this, Mike Bibby to me is the best player I ever saw here. I did not see Sean Elliott. Disclaimer. Mike Bibby, though, for about a 7-year period was 19 to 22 points per game. He was very close to that. He was one of the best players that never made an all-star team. And Kobe Bryant, I thought, and granted, they had a long-term relationship, but Kobe Bryant said, there's no tougher dude that you want in the clutch than Mike Bibby. That's when he was putting up numbers on Shaq and Kobe. I mean, I think some people, if you weren't, if you're Kobe Thiel and you're still basically a fetus, you did not see these games. But he put up, he was dropping 30 per game. It was absolutely fantastic. I have Mike Bibby at number 5. Who do you have at number 4, Saul Bookman?
Yeah, I have Iggy at number 4.
Okay.
I think Andre Iguodala, obviously the Finals MVP, terrific defender, was just a great all-around player, world champion as well on those same Warriors teams. So I think Iggy is also he's quite the businessman.
He is.
And if you didn't know this, Iggy has a relationship with our ALLCITY network.
This is very true. This is very true. I have Sean Elliott at number 4. Sean Elliott would have been higher had he not been cut down in his prime. Obviously, Sean Elliott is Arizona basketball on the court. Now, I'm always bummed that he never comes back. That does bother me a little bit, and I know it bothers some other people as well. But on the court, there's no doubt. This dude is the best Pac-10, Pac-12 basketball player post the UCLA era by any metric. National Player of the Year, 2-time consensus first-team All-American, all-time leading scorer in the conference history, and 2-time NBA All-Star. He was just a really talented guy. Obviously had some injuries and whatnot. He is though, when you think of the all-time best, Sean Elliott's the first one that comes up to your mind, and he probably would be a little bit higher on this list had he not been, cut down in his prime. But he still came back, made a big shot against Portland, obviously, multiple-time All-Star. I have Sean Elliott at number 4.
They call it the Memorial Day Miracle out there in San Antonio.
And man, it was that close. It was literally that close to being out of bounds.
Yeah, with the heel up and everything. I actually have RJ at number 3.
Okay.
Richard Jefferson. I think, again, I'm going with totality. I don't think it's just because of what he's done in the NBA as a player. He did win a world championship with Cleveland, but it's also because he was a phenomenal athlete, great player, and what he's done off the court as well with the NBA and being on ESPN. He's always backing the A. If there's a former athlete out there at Arizona that backs the A more than Richard Jefferson, I would love to meet them because I don't see it. He's been fantastic.
Yes, exactly. I would RJ, I have RJ at 6. RJ though, by the way, I saw RJ 3 times. RJ came and played our high school in when Moon Valley came to town. By the way, I always tell people this when I'll get somebody that'll be like, "Hey, do you think this guy's an NBA player or not?" Generally in high school, if you're having to ask somebody that, you probably aren't. Because you could just tell Richard Jefferson looked like a total unicorn. He looked like something that was dropped in from outer space. He did not belong on this high school gym. I mean, Saul, you've played against NBA guys. You know it when you see it. It just is totally different.
Yeah. My claim to fame is I beat Richard Jefferson in high school. So,
well, there, duh. No, your claim to fame is the free throws.
Yeah, well, that's my second one.
I have Andre Iguodala at 3. Now, Mr. Tyler Warden makes a good point, Iggy, at 4. Listen, the NBA Finals, I give him a ton of credit for that. But to me, it's a little bit different than some of the other guys we're going to talk about in that, you know, it was a 14.5 rebound, 5 assists. And I mean, yes, I get you made LeBron's job difficult, but LeBron is still putting up, and again, this isn't meant to minimize Iggy, but LeBron's still putting up 38, 13, and 9 or whatever it was. Yeah. It was something ridiculous. True. So, you know, Steph Curry was the most important player on that team. But I have Iggy, you know, all-star, all defensive player. And I think it was Luke Walton that said that, you know, when Iggy left, he said, that's going to be one of the best players that ever came through here. Mark my words. And it turned out to be true. Now, number 2, I feel very, very comfortable about these number 2s. Oh, Mr. Anthony Totri has joined the chat. Hello, Totri. Totri joined the chat yesterday. He was playing hurt. We very much appreciate that. Who you got at 2, Saul Bookman?
2, I got Jason Terry. Terry, longevity, was a solid player. Good 6-man, won a championship with the Mavs, like just solid all-around player. So I like Jason Terry there. I think he did a lot of stuff in the NBA that got overlooked. He played on some pretty bad teams, but he was one of the best players on those bad teams almost all the time. So I like Jason Terry.
I have JT at 2 as well. The reason I got JT at 2 is that NBA Finals that they won against the against the Cavs. That to me is different than what Iggy did, and I do not mean to diminish Iggy, but Jason Terry was dropping 25, 26 points per game on LeBron James, with LeBron James guarding him, no less. And this is peak LeBron James. And to me, and tell me if I'm wrong, Saul, but Charles Barkley always makes a point. He said, it's awesome to have dudes that facilitate, that pass, you know, that can do a bunch of other things. He says, but when the chips are down, when everybody's looking at you, the hardest thing to do in the NBA is score down the stretch when everybody is looking at you. That's why there's so few players that can do that. Jason Terry did that. And Jason Terry, again, Dirk did it as well, obviously. But JT in 2 NBA Finals averaged 23 points per game and shot 51% from the field. That, to me, is just something that is, I agree with you, Saul. That is the best way I can put it. I agree with you. Who you got at 1?
My number 1 is Gilbert Arenas.
Yep.
Gilbert Arenas. I feel like Gilbert Arenas was hotter than anybody else's hot that's ever played in a U of A uniform in the NBA. He could have won an MVP. He was unguardable. He gave Kobe Bryant problems. Like he was just, if he wasn't such a knucklehead and he didn't have the medical issues with his knees, I think we'd be talking about Gilbert Arenas as one of the best players of all time. That's how good I think Gilbert Arenas. I will say this: Gilbert Arenas at his peak, far superior to James Harden.
You know, I agree with that. You want to know? I got another case. I got another case for you on that, Saul. He was dropping 31 points per game when teams were averaging 93 points per game. That is the case. Can you imagine what Gil would have averaged in the Harden era where every team is scoring 121 points? He would have been up in that 37, 38, 39 realm. He would have. Yeah, he was just too good. He was, and you know what it was with basketball? Sometimes basketball just comes easy to people. You can just tell they were just, now granted, he was an overlooked recruit, but basketball just came easy to him. And he was born to play basketball. Like you said, I believe he would have been a first ballot Hall of Famer without some of the, the knucklehead factors, the injuries, but he was absolutely on another level. He was, I agree with you, man. He, I don't know what else to say. I just think he's just a fantastic player.
Yeah, 1,000,000%.
All right. Now, before we allow the great Erica L. Day in here, we've got some house cleaning items to do. The BetMGM Sportsbook app. All right. Here's the deal. Saul?
No. Jacob is shaking his head no.
What do you mean?
There's no BetMGM read today, Mike.
Did they switch it? Because I literally put it in.
It is chicken and pickle.
Chicken and pickle. Chicken and pickle. The fantastic venue out here on the west side, Chicken and Pickle. You should come check it out. Mike did not come up and check it out yesterday, but we all did. We had a great time playing pickleball. I jacked up my knee so bad I can barely walk today, but that's okay. That's okay.
You couldn't handle the smoke.
Because we had a great time. That's all that matters. Jacob Franklin and Max, I would say two of the top 3 or 4 best players in our office in terms of pickleball, had to team up so they can beat me. So on one leg, just so we all know.
Are you the only college athlete?
We were up in that game before you tweaked your knee.
And then what happened after I tweaked my knee?
We psychologically took it easy on you because we didn't want you to tear your meniscus.
No, that's their fault. That's their fault. You play to win the game.
1,000,000% their fault. We took advantage.
To win the game.
Yeah.
Jacob Franklin.
We then promptly handed them their ass in the next game.
You played to win the game. And then after that, I couldn't watch.
And the game after that.
All right, Jacob Franklin, you do say that you did say that you have a very short wingspan. Does this have anything to do with it, Jacob Franklin?
I do have a short wingspan, sure.
Really?
For my height, yeah, it's 6'4". I'm 6'7" in my wingspan. The last I measured was senior year of high school, so maybe it's a little longer now. Who knows? But yeah, I mean, I've been told that when I'm out there, it's like playing Gumby, that there are a lot of balls that it looks like it's going to fall, but then they just don't because my arms just kind of somehow close the gap. But, you know.
Interesting. Jacob Franklin, could you ever dunk?
I could get high enough, but I could not, for some reason, hold on to the ball. I'd go up and it would fly. Like it would just fly out of my hand. I could palm the ball, but anytime I'd try and jump up to dunk, I just, for some reason, could not hang on to the ball.
Oh, interesting. All right. I did not know that. All right. So very, very good stuff there. So you guys had a very good time. Did you guys get anything to eat there?
I did not, but the food is phenomenal.
The food is really good.
We had food there at our first watch party, so it was fantastic.
All right. Now we got the great Erica L. Day coming in here in a second, but Elijhah Arenas. Yes, Elijhah Arenas is much highly rated. He is considered a top 5 player in the country. Gil, only other offer was Kansas State. So there is that. Okay. Now, look who we have joining us. Of Phoenix PHNX Mercury fame, of the PHNX Wildcats, or a PHNX Wildcats guest host, Erica L. Day. Hello, Erica L. Day.
Erica's got some Cricket wireless Wi-Fi going on right now. I don't know what's going on there.
Erica, you look better now.
Calm down.
Like we
the pickleball losers don't need to come at me about my connection.
45-second delay over here. She just now heard that comment.
You did. Erica L. Day, 1 + 1. How much does that equal? That's a question. Not an answer.
There it is.
All right.
45-second delay.
It's due.
Right. Okay. The whiteboard is ready with updates. All right, Erica, fill us in on what do we need to know, Erica L. Day? I know you're always coming in with the heat. What do you have?
Yesterday there was a tweet sent out that there's a new recruit coming, but I'll be frank with you guys, I have no idea who it is. It better be a center. I know you guys have heard me reiterate that Arizona needs a backup center pretty bad, and it's still the truth. And I'm concerned that you guys can't hear me, but I hope that you can, and I hope that you hear me talking about for a center to be what we are recruiting right now.
All right, let's talk. You wanted to talk about Jada Williams. And yes, it was the Heat, not the Cavs. I do apologize on this. But you want to talk about Jada Williams. What do you want to talk about with Jada Williams, Eric L. Day?
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Erica, do you want to talk about Jada Williams?
Just get me out of here. It's not working today.
All right. We will do this. We will do this another time. And it's okay.
Just get me out of here. I give up.
You know what? Sometimes just claiming defeat is the the better. What is it? Retreat is the better regard of valor, or what is it? You're a military man, Saul Bookman. What is that term?
I don't fucking know that.
Discretion is the higher form of valor. How about that? All right. That is my motto. That is my motto in life. All right. We're going to go off on a tangent here a little bit. I want to talk about the Phoenix Suns, and I want to talk something about, I want to talk about Phoenix Suns. I also want to talk about Jokic and Shaq here for a second. Now, listen, I grew up watching Shaquille O'Neal, and Shaquille O'Neal to me is always, in my opinion, the most dominant player that I've ever seen at his peak. I've never seen somebody that 38, 17, and 5, whatever the case may be. I do have a question, though, for you, Saul. Are we approaching a point, and as NBA insider Saul Bookman, is Jokic starting to enter that realm of dominance?
I think there's two different types of dominance we're talking about. I think you're talking about physical dominance, unguardability, because Shaq was just a physical specimen,
right?
That was just damn near hard to beat. Jokic does it because, as Eddie Johnson likes to say, he has 26 letters to pick from, and if you close one off, he's got another one, and if you close that off, and he's got another one, and so on and so forth. And he's got so many different moves that he can beat you with, far superior to what Shaq ever had, by a mile. Like, you want to cut off his outside shooting, he'll take you to the basket, he'll back you down, he can pass. He's got a variety of different shot angles. Like, he's quite literally the most all-around best player that I might have ever seen in my life.
Yeah, I mean, it's remarkable to see.
Yeah, I don't say that with taking that lightly.
Yeah, I mean, I have never seen anything where I can shoot the three, I can go to the basket, I can play behind, I can pass, I can do pretty much everything. And that's really what Jokic did. You know what, Sue Alexander? We very much like Sue Alexander. We are going to talk some Arizona women's basketball. This will be called Winging It. All right. I believe that Arizona women's basketball is going to make the Sweet 16 this year. So I was roaming around campus generally in the morning, as I generally do. And the one thing about it, too, this team has good vibes about it. I think that is a massive thing with Aaliyah and what she's put together is you're always going to have talent. I think you got to have good vibes. I think this is a roster where everybody is buying into each other. And I think that Aaliyah, if you watch her at pressers, if you watch her around campus, I think she feels very comfortable about this. She didn't have to spend this offseason trying to lure back Kaylin Gilbert, who clearly didn't want to be here. I think she's got a group of players that want to be here. Jada Williams is obviously that quarterback. And I think she's ready to rock and roll. I think this is going to be a very, very good team. And the vibes, they do need another post, Sue Alexander. We very much agree with you. And Eric Elday says I'm right about the good vibes.
I mean, there you go. You said it all, Mike. Right. I don't know. Listen, I think it's way too early to find out the vibes are great. I have no idea. Like, unless you're around this team, I don't know how Erica feels. I know she's in the green room right now and she can hear us, I think. Wave if you can still see us there, Erica. There she is. But, you know, I don't know if the vibes are good. And I don't think it really matters what the vibes are in the offseason. Let's be honest. Like, it's always been once we got to the season, then some bumps in the road happen. And then some of the players decide they'd rather go elsewhere, sometimes even in the middle of the season. So I think we need to wait for judgment on this. I do like the fact that Aaliyah has been aggressive. I do like the fact that this program has still had success despite the punches that they've taken the last couple of years. I mean, listen, I didn't think that they were going to get as far as they did this year. I feel like they surpassed expectations getting to where they did. And next year, I would fully expect them to be a top 20 team. But they have a lot to prove when it comes to the vibe stuff, because that on the surface and from the outside looking in has not been the greatest optic of them all.
Yes, exactly. And maybe that's just something too, where you're not seeing this flood of offseason transfers. It seems, again, you obviously lost Kaylin Gilbert, but I don't think she necessarily wanted to really be here. I think that you have, though, some players that obviously want to be here. And you know what? I think a big part of it is you have a face of the program in Jada Williams. You have somebody that Aaliyah Barnes clearly very much adores. She clearly likes being here as well. And a big part of that too, especially at the point guard spot, is Arizona not necessarily had a lot of those players in the last couple of years. I think that is a massive, massive part of that, is having somebody who's the face that is going to lead. And Diaz talked about it at the end of the season. And she said the best thing about Jada is she's going to be a sophomore and she's going to be able to hold people accountable. It's difficult to hold people accountable when you're a freshman. It's just the way it is. It's difficult. You got a year under your belt. You're able to do it. I am excited to see what she can do. And we will find this one out, Saul Bookman.
Yeah, absolutely. And you can find out more about the Mercury as well tonight at 6:00 when Erica L. Day and Stephen Garner host the Mercury show, PHNX_Mercury. Follow them on social. Sue Alexander clearly does because she wants to talk some Merc, and she will have that opportunity tonight with Erica and Stephen. So enjoy. Those are two of the best. Stephen also covers the CHGO Sky. So he's a company man. He does a fantastic job for them out there. So you have two of the best in the game covering women's basketball, and we're excited about it.
You know what's also very impressive about them? They have I don't even know, have they met each other in person? Because it's amazing if they haven't, because their chemistry is very good on air. It's very good immediately. This is really a must watch. I will be watching it. I watch something and I learn a little bit every single time from it. Saul Bookman, this was a very, very good addition to the team. And like I said, great chemistry. It is fun to watch. Sue Alexander, we will know that you will watch. By the way, Sue Alexander, one of my favorite people. I like feisty people that come in and they're combative. They let you know what they want. Sue Alexander is one of those. Oh, you like my punching? It's very, I was not a Golden Gloves boxer. This is true. Okay. Now, Saul, what else? We got any events coming up here? Anything soon? Anything?
Nope.
We got?
Nope. We are radio silent as of right now. We'll have some news for you tomorrow, but no, it's the quiet time of the year.
Yes, it is the quiet time of the year. Jacob Franklin, I did not text him today, so we will. I will make it up for
you. People, why you didn't text me today, Mike? That's because your links were in at 6:30 and you didn't need to text me.
This is very true. Saul, Jacob Franklin is the man. Jacob Franklin, I get up and I looked and I was like, oh, whoa. It wasn't there, but 6:30, it was there. Jacob Franklin, you're the man. Very much appreciate you. Okay. Now, Sue Alexander, you are very right. All right. Now, everybody, we will be back with you tomorrow, though. Hopefully there's some Elijhah Badger news. We would very much like this to occur, as would Jacob Franklin. But on that note, for the great Saul Bookman, free throw champ Saul Bookman, who also beat RJ at when they played Moon Valley. Very, very impressive. Erica L. Day, who technical glitches. It is okay. Erica will not be doing the show from there.
She is giving us heart hands behind the scenes, so appreciate it.
Yes, and support the baseball team. I will be out there Friday. Everybody show up. Kobe Thiel, who has been in the Discord, by the way, become a diehard so you can listen. Kobe Thiel has an entire breakdown of the baseball team and what you need to know. Come check it out. Become a diehard at PHNX. You will thank me later for this. I will also be out there on Friday, as will Kobe Thiel. But for the great Saul Bookman, for the short-limbed Jacob Franklin, for the very smart Erica L. Day,
for the short bandwidth Erica L. Day.
That was good. Appreciate you all. We'll be back tomorrow. Hopefully, we're going to be going badger hunting. You've been listening to the AZ Wildcats podcast.
We all silly like the mayor.